Hello learners, we are going to look at network today. That's the next section. We're going to look at setting up a network. Essential parts to link nodes in a network. One is a switch. A switch or router are devices that allow multiple computers to connect to the same network. They can also be used to connect two networks to each other. A switch serves as a controller, enabling network devices to talk to each other. So there's a switch with the cables, allowing the devices to connect to each other. The devices connect by the cable to the switch. Network cables, we have the UTP. The Ethernet cable example is UTP. That's your twisted, unshielded twisted pair cables. Then we have your ADSL. We also have fiber optic cables, which is made up of glass fibers. And we have done that in grade 11. So your glass fibers cannot bend compared to your UTP. We've done the advantages and disadvantages of UTP and fiber optic. So fiber optic is an expensive cable. You cannot bend the fiber optic easily, but that it comes in high speeds compared to your UTP. Next is your wireless base station or access point. Is a radio receiver transmitter that serves as a hub of a local wireless network. So your access point or wireless base station, that is for wireless connection. Connects using radio waves. This is wired connection, your switch. So your local area network can have a switch and an access point or both of them. And it should have network cables if it's using a switch, because that's a wired connection. Next, to connect to the internet, you need a router or modem. Now your router or mobile router, right? It's a router connects multiple networks together. So they connect networks. The key word is connection of networks, not only devices or computers in a network, but they connect networks. They also connect computers on those networks to the internet. So it connects networks and can connect you to the internet. Routers enable all networked computers to share a single internet connection. So that is what we have in school, a single internet connection to which the computers on the network are connected. Most routers have multiple Ethernet ports and wireless connection and is an all-in-one solution. So most routers are all-in-one solution. It also has an access point. There's your antenna there. It has a switch, so it allows Ethernet ports, which allows computers to connect. And it's a modem, so it allows you to connect to the internet. So a modem is a device that provides access to the internet. It connects to your ISP, your internet service provider, which typically provides either a cable, so you have cable, or you have ADSL internet service. In school, we have an ADSL internet service. You can also have a cable service using cable television lines. Your ISP will charge you a monthly fee to use their network to connect to the internet. An all-in-one solution is an ISP that provides the hardware, installation, and connection. So examples of ISP is your Telcom SA, and MWeb. They also provide an all-in-one solution where they will provide the hardware, the installation, and connection. And quite a few already have telecom contracts that allow you to connect to the internet. This is a mobile modem. This modem will allow you to connect to the internet, 3G, 4G connection. So these are your routers and your modems. These are your modems. There's your router. Right, the next one is different connections to the internet. Your ADSL, your WiMAX, your 4G, and 5G. Now your ADSL, any computer can connect, or smartphone. and you need a router to connect to an ADSL line. Your router will connect you to an ADSL line. WiMAX also needs a router. So also any computer or smartphone. 4G and 5G, any computer connected to a router or any smartphone can connect through to 4G and 5G. Your channel, your ADSL line, you can use an active telephone line, you can use an ADSL enabled telephone line. The WiMAX, there is no physical channel, it is wireless. So radio waves is the medium to transfer data. So there is no channel, we transfer data through radio waves. Same with 4G and 5G, radio waves is used to transfer data. So there's no physical channel. So the communication device to actually connect you, here is a router. This is a mobile router with an external satellite or antenna. And here you have a USB dongle, a mobile router or a smartphone. Your smartphone can connect you to your internet, the 4G and 5G connection using your smartphone. So you don't need a router. Connecting the router to the local network using an Ethernet cable. This is what this diagram does. It's connecting your router to a local network, a local area network. This is a local network. In a local network, let's look at these nodes. These are PCs. There's a printer. The components on a network are referred to nodes because they could be a PC, it could be a printer. So if this is your local area network, for example, the computer room with all the computers, we use a switch. A switch allows you to connect the different devices or different nodes, their PCs and your printer. So we connect using a switch. To connect to the internet, we need a router, and the router will take you to the internet. So your internet connection comes through the router to the switch, and from the switch, it is a shared internet connection to all computers on your local area network. And the cable that's being used is an Ethernet cable or UTP cable. We also have connecting computers directly to the router using Wi-Fi. So these computers can be connected directly to the router and not in a local area network, not through a switch. So connecting by Wi-Fi, you can connect a printer, a smartphone, a PC through the router to the internet. So that is a possible connection. Now, in a local area network generally, or any network, files and folders can be shared. So we have the concept of sharing files and folders. That means files and folders on other computers can be viewed by different users that gain access from different computers. Files and folders on one computer can be shared with other computers on the network. Once shared, people on the network can open and view it. You can also copy, modify, delete, depending on the setup. So the files has to be set up so that people, according to what rights they have, can either view it or copy, can modify it, that is, change it or delete it. So we create user rights for that. User rights allow you to set permissions for your shared files, giving different users access to different ways to read, write, and modify. That's where we can change the settings for each user and what permissions are allowed. Advantage of using user rights are allows to specify which users have access to what files, allows only specific users to change your files, decreasing the risk of virus infections or users deleting files. So for security reasons, certain users may be given certain rights to files, others may just view the files. Disadvantages is that it's time consuming and difficult to set up user rights because each individual has to be catered for in setting up user rights. You may have to make changes to the user rights as new users are added. So every time you add new users, you have to make changes. You may require you to make changes as a user's need arises. Some programs on a shared folder will not function if a user does not have full user rights. In terms of file sharing, we have BitTorrent. Now, BitTorrent is a peer-to-peer technology that can be used to share files. This is over the internet. There's an example of what BitTorrent looks like when you're downloading files over the internet. Seeding is when the files are being uploaded for others to use. So BitTorrent is peer-to-peer technology to share files. Parts of the file being downloaded are downloaded from different computers. So in BitTorrent, there are many computers which have the same file, or parts of the file is now downloaded from the many different computers, so which makes it faster to download. Anyone who downloads a torrent file automatically starts sharing it with other people, and that's called seeding. Torrents facilitate the sharing of bandwidth, allowing users to download files more quickly than they would from a single source. The benefits of BitTorrent. The data used to upload the file is shared between all users downloading the file. The bandwidth is also shared, allowing users to download the file more quickly. Since the file is not uploaded to a single website or hosted by a single user, people may continue to share it for years after it was first shared. For websites using torrents to share pirated material, the website itself is not sharing illegal materials. So that's the benefit. The website itself is not sharing it. This makes it a lot harder to prosecute the website owners for copyright infringements. The disadvantage of BitTorrent, since the files are shared peer-to-peer, you can never be sure that the file you're downloading is what you're looking for, or it may have viruses. Many ISPs throttle or shape torrent downloads. That means they shape the restricting the torrent downloads, that they throttle the downloads, preventing you from downloading them at high speed. Torrents are often used to pirate videos, music. When you use torrents to download pirated material, you're also sharing pirated material. And distributing pirated material is punished much more severely by law than receiving pirated material. So when using BitTorrent, remember, because those files that you download are being shared, then you are responsible for sharing pirate or distributing pirated material. Some companies share large applications such as Linux installations using torrents because it's a fast way of sending files or sharing files. Now, online services. If you want to share files with people on the internet, example, share a group work project with friends, then you need to use an online service. Popular online services, one is the Dropbox. It's a popular cloud storage service used to transfer and synchronize files between your desktop and mobile devices. Synchronized files, so changes on your desktop is affected with changes on your mobile devices. MobileMe is a service that ensures your iPhone and computer are always in sync. It updates calendars, contacts, and emails wirelessly. This online service is being discontinued. The G Suite is for work, is a suite of web applications created by Google for businesses. It includes Gmail, Docs, Drive, Calendar, Meet, and more. Many are using this. It was formerly Google Apps. Your Office 365 Online lets you view and edit Office documents for free in your web browser. The apps include your Word, your Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote. The next one is remote access. Now, what is remote access? It refers to several technologies or applications that allow you to connect to a computer over a network. So remote access, you're connecting to a computer over a network. Now, once you're connected with remote access, you will see the remote computer's display on your monitor, and you can use this computer as if it is your own. Remote access can be used for opening applications, sending emails, and fixing problems. So if you're on a local area network, you can use Windows Remote Desktop Connection application to connect to a computer on your local network as if it was your own computer. So in a network, you can connect to another computer and you can work on it as if it is your own. So you're accessing it remotely, another computer from your desktop computer or laptop. The requirements for remote access. The remote computer must be remote access enabled, allowing you to access it. You must be on the same local network as a remote computer. You must know the IP address of the remote computer. Each computer has an IP address, so you need to know the IP address to access the remote computer. You must know the username and password of the remote computer. To access a remote desktop over the internet, you need to use a VPN, which is a virtual private network. So in a local area network, we're not using a VPN. You can, using, for example, Windows remote desktop connection, you can access another computer on the network from your computer and you can work with it. But to access a remote desktop over the internet, you need to use a virtual private network. VPN is a private network that you can connect to over the internet. For security reasons, to access another computer, you'll have to use a virtual private network through the internet. Now, online remote access, that is through the internet, allows you to manage your home computer from another location. For example, if you're at school, you can manage your home computer or your work computer from home. Now, if you're looking at this diagram here or this picture, right, there's your work computer. If you are at home, you can access your work computer and continue working. If you're away, for example, in your car on the beach, you can access your work computer. So you're accessing it remotely. Anywhere in town, you can access your work computer. If you're at a customer's place, you can access your work computer. That's remote access. Requirement, you need to install specialized software like TeamViewer, MS Team, Microsoft Teams, TeamViewer on both computers. Once installed, you can use the remote computer's ID and password to access it online. So you need the ID and the password of your remote computer. So you can use TeamViewer as an example of software that will allow you to access the computer remotely. Now, remote access using a virtual private network, we're going to discuss how the virtual access occurs to a private network. The VPN is a private network that you can connect to over the internet. So if you look at your computer and you're accessing the office, if you run through a virtual private network, if you access through the virtual private network, then your access is secure. All traffic to and from your computer is funneled through a virtual private tunnel. The data is hidden from any hackers or eavesdroppers while crossing the internet. So a virtual private network prevents hacking or eavesdropping. And once you are over a virtual private network, you can use Office Internet to browse the web. But if you're using the Office Internet, that may be visible. But your access to the office is through a virtual private network, which means that is secure. There's another picture here depicting that. The virtual private network, that's through which you access. Once you're connected to the virtual private network, you can access all the private network resources like shared printers, files, printers, and computers as if you are physically connected to the private network. So if you're using a virtual private network to access the office network, you can access all files, printers, and computers. You can use remote access to connect to a computer on the virtual private network like you would connect to any local computer. So you'll be running through a virtual private network, but it is as if you are running like a LAN, like a local area network, but you are running it through a virtual private network. And that is the end of the sections to complete your application.